What's up, fellas, and welcome to episode number 2 of The Smoke. I'm DK alongside Tom, two-time Super Bowl champ. What's good with you, man?
Not too much, man. Enjoying some time with this 22 beta. Getting ready to wrap up, getting the home stretch here this season for MSR. I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
That's what's up, man, and that's what we're here for. We're here for the Madden 22 beta first impressions. So the way we're going to do this, we're just going to give you a quick first impression about how we feel. A lot of people just came out as soon as the beta came out and talked about their first impressions, but we actually wanted just to put a little, game time into the game and kind of see what our quick first impressions were as far as like gameplay. We're going to come back with more detailed things, maybe go into like the momentum, for each stadium, and if it's fair or unfair. Definitely go into franchise mode with the new training and progressive fatigue and the coaching trees and everything. But we're just gonna keep it short and sweet. We have the game for 2 weeks, so we still haven't even had the game for a week, so we still have plenty of time to put in work. Another thing for you guys is if you don't have next gen console, then you're not able to play the beta. So sorry about that. Save up your pennies and get you a next gen. Before we get started, I'm just gonna go over the the known issues with gameplay, because we're not gonna go over this stuff since EA's already told us that they know it's already messed up. So expect late drops caused by defender contact on aggressive catches. I think you can say that for possession catches as well. What do you think about that one, Tom? Because I've had trouble with every time I catch the ball and I get hit, I'm having a lot of trouble with my receivers dropping the ball.
I've seen that, but I've seen what they're talking about too with the late drops. It was actually in my first game I played. I was playing someone and he caught a ball on the sideline about 10 yards out. He literally ran downfield 30 yards with the ball in his hand, and then I hit him and the ball popped out, looked like it was a fumble, and they called it an incomplete pass. So that was pretty wild to see. So I've seen this late drops, and they're late, like many yards downfield late.
Okay, so I haven't experienced that, so I'm glad you was able to tell me about that and let me know. Wow. And that ended up being incomplete?
Oh, yeah, incomplete. There was one, I just chucked it deep. It was like 5 seconds before half. He ended up picking it off, returned it 40, 50 yards downfield past the midfield marker, hit him, he dropped it, looked like a fumble again, called it incomplete. It was no interception or anything on it. So, yeah, it's very late with how that stuff's happening.
I really think this beta is more like an alpha. I'm pretty sure they've had this build for quite some time. I'm pretty sure there's a build that's better than the build that we're playing. I mean, we're able to, give our feedback and everything like that. But a lot of people are disappointed and mad about certain things. And it's like, guys, it's a beta. If this
Beta
is
for a reason.
Yeah, if this is the game that we get, come August 17th, then yeah, I get the frustration and everything. But at the same time, just hold your horses. Be thankful that they've given us the beta for 2 weeks at that. I mean, we've never been able to get our hands on it for that long. So just calm down, hold your horses. Take what you can get from this and give your feedback. Moving on to the next thing on the known issues with the gameplay is expect flat defenders to be slow to react to flats in coverage. Most in-game highlights will not be functional. Deep zones will not effectively cover sidelines, the back corner of end zone. And deep zones will not effectively cover deep crossing routes. I mean, they don't do that now on Madden 21, so I mean, this ain't nothing new.
That's not much different.
All right, so let's go on to our couple topics that we could talk about. First, we're going to talk about what I think is the most popular thing for next gen and Madden itself is the movement. Tell me what you think about the movement.
I like it personally. I think that it could probably use a very, very slight amount of tweaking. It feels very similar, if not the same, to how 21 next gen felt. And again, I don't have a problem with that. I know a lot of people are complaining that it feels like guys are stuck in quicksand or they're stuck in mud, whatever. To me, it's just a curve you just got to get used to, because what everyone's accustomed to is guys on ice skates, swerving, doing whatever they want, and this is not the same. And it's not like it's everyone's stuck in quicksand. Everyone's still moving the same. It's not like, a couple guys are like super slow and other guys can still move like they're on ice skates. It's all the same relative to this game. I think it's fine. It's just a curve that you got to get used to. I got used to it on 21 next gen, and I thought it moved very well. I think a lot of the complaints come from people who haven't really played much 21 on next gen personally, but yeah, I like it. Like I said, I can see a little tweaking could come from it though.
I personally think it's definitely better than current next gen 21 right now. I guess it's so hard going back and forth with that. So next gen 21. So I think it's better than that for sure. You're able to kind of move in the holes now with the running back. You're able to kind of react and attack a route if you want to on defense. It's definitely not like current gen. I hate the whole swerving ice skates. Like when someone's running the ball to the outside and they just curve and bring it around. I mean, come on, guys. Like, do we want a sim football game or do we want an arcadey football game? I mean, I think that's the point that we're trying to get to. We keep telling, EA we want a more realistic football game to feel like Sundays. So with current gen, that's not how they react at all. They have to shuffle their feet. They have to make a turn when they need to. You can't just swerve and skate around the football field. So I personally love Next Gen 21. Actually, I've enjoyed it a lot, and I know if I enjoy that, I'm definitely going to enjoy Next Gen 22. Definitely looking forward, and hopefully they can just tweak a few things. Linebackers definitely move well, but I still think for the meta, it's going to be play your safeties at linebacker. I just wish that this game can make it a penalty for when you have safeties at linebacker because they don't belong there for a reason. But hey, we can only ask for a few things at once. We can't ask for too much. Moving on to the momentum bar. So just give me your quick thoughts about the momentum bar.
I like it. I definitely think it's a nice addition. I know a lot of people, including myself, have been asking for some kind of home field advantage. So I do think it's good. I think it needs some tweaking, though, because it's, just from what I've noticed, I feel like the home team should get like a little bit of an advantage with it. Like I would play a game, for example, where I was the home team and my opponent, obviously the away team, got the ball first. And then like they would go down and score, and then they would get the momentum, and then I would go down and score. And now you would think either the momentum should be like at 0 at that point, or I should have more of it because we're tied and I'm the home team, so the fans are more into it for me. And it'll end up still being on their side some, which doesn't really make sense why that happens the way it happens. And then like literally every play seems to either gain or lose momentum. Like you'll score a touchdown, and then you kick an extra point, and the extra point will give you like 1 or 2 little dots of momentum. And it's like, well, why is the extra point giving you momentum? Like you should get it off the score. It does. I mean, unless it's like 27-27 and that extra point's giving you the 1 point lead or something, then I'd understand it. Or if you miss it and you hit it off the uprights, then you lose a bunch of momentum or something like that. That I would understand. But just like the little plays that really don't do anything for the game, always moving the momentum bar up and down, I don't know. I just feel like it can be tweaked, but overall I think it's awesome, and I do enjoy it a lot.
See, I love how we like come from different angles all the time. So I'm gonna take this momentum bar at a different angle. I like the fact that they've added it to the game, especially for us sim guys and in CFMs. This is stuff that we want in our CFMs. Other things to matter than just your the way you play with the sticks. We want more immersion, right? So I definitely do like it. I like the fact that and me and you talked about this earlier. I thought every team got 3 different. What are they called again?
They call them M factors.
Yeah, M factors. Everybody gets their main one and then 2 extras. Well, come to find out, that's not the truth. So I don't like the fact that it could be random with the M factors, and so I think that should be tweaked. And I think some of the M factors are too OP. So there's some where in the red zone you have better speed or better change of direction or better acceleration, or when you're in the red zone, the away team has higher fatigue rate and stuff like that. I don't want certain things to really, really mess with the game, or the one whenever you're in the red zone or in game and they drop your opponent drops the ball whenever you're all the way. Now, in a way, I get it. If you can get your momentum bar all the way up, because I feel like it's going to take, a pretty dominant performance to be able to get the momentum bar all the way up, at least from when I've played the game so far. But I just think some things you just can't mess with gameplay that way. It kind of makes it unfair, which I guess home field advantage is supposed to be better for the home team, but physical things I don't think should be a part of the momentum bar.
I definitely agree with you too on the how the M factors change because, like you said, we talked about it earlier, and I originally thought it was you get your home team one ability, and then the two on either end are always the same. Like if you're playing, in like Giant Stadium or something, it's always the same, but it's not. It always changes all the time. And I see that being weird for franchise because then, like you said, some of the abilities are definitely a lot better than other abilities. So it's like one game you're playing at home and you got these really nice abilities, and you can get these really OP abilities if you're doing well. And then the next game, it's like it doesn't even matter because they're just like stupid things anyway. So I do wish they were a set three per stadium.
Also, as I'm thinking and listening to you talk, I wonder if in CFM, because with so much trading, I'm about to go look deep in this. It's something I can look deep into for our next podcast. But like, can you focus on certain M factors? Because like I don't know, there's so much you can do with the coaching, training, and stuff like that, and getting ready for games and stuff. So I don't know if they're going to equate that to each other. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work out. It's definitely something new and definitely something I need to attack a little bit more. Uh, let's move over to the defensive play art. So, did that throw you off? What do you think about it?
Yeah, so there's a couple things that threw off for me with the defensive play art. One like the zones and then just like the design and everything. It does look very odd and like especially for something when you're like a sim league where you're following your zones. Like I've noticed like the hook zones and stuff are extremely tiny sometimes. So it's very odd looking. And the other thing I've noticed too, which I don't know if you've seen, is in man coverage, the like gray line that shows who you're covering does not go all the way to the guy you're covering.
So let me
There's
ask you.
been
So,
instances.
so let me ask you a
Sorry.
question on that real quick. Because I know some of the momentum bars might one of the M factors might be affecting that. Because also something I noticed you can hot route like your icon for your slot cornerbacks are like you can't see them.
Yeah, that I haven't noticed. But I have noticed there's sometimes like um, I guess this doesn't really have anything to do with the play art, but there'll be times where I'll have something set up by speed or something, and I normally don't do that, but like I just doing to test it out, and I'll have a guy that's in like a deep blue zone on the right half of the field, and he's covering the slot guy on the left half of the field, and I don't know if that's something that happens in Madden right now. But like that is one thing that I've noticed happens randomly because of I assume it's just because I have it on coverage by speed. Um, but as far as the play art thing goes, I know there is an M factor that kind of messes with how you see things. But in the situation I'm referring to, there was nothing active at the time, and I was in like a man coverage, and it was like a three tight end set, and then they had a halfback. So I think I was like I think I was blitzing. So like I think both safeties had a guy covered, and then the linebacker had another guy covered. And I had no clue who was covering who because the lines didn't connect to the receiver. I thought I was covering the halfback on the play because that's looked like how it was lined up, and I ended up covering like the inside most tight end. Guy was wide open because I was covering somebody different, but that's definitely something that needs to get fixed too.
Oh, so I've definitely seen the line thing, but for me, the defensive play art, I hate it. It's too vibrant to me.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it just pops off the screen way too hard, and it kind of just distracts you from what you're trying to do. Uh, I love how EA tries to bring in new things and tries to add new things, and I hope enough people reach out and be like, hey, can we just go back to what we had? Because that's just a little bit too much. I know you want to have want things to pop and everything, but like you said, like some of the yellow zones are so small, like we all know how to play our yellow zones. I mean, at this point, but there'll be that one person that's going to be like, hey, well, he left his zone, because this little bitty ass zone right here that you're looking at. So I definitely
Yeah,
agree
that's
with you
one of
on
those
that.
things too, where it's like, why was it changed? And I mean, I guess maybe like gameplay wise, yeah, maybe it doesn't really have any effect for anything because the guy, like 10 of your guys are computer controlled on defense, so they're still going to follow their same assignments, whether the zone is 10 yards wide or 5 yards wide. But as far as for users seeing it and trying to follow the proper assignments, it's like, why is it different than what it was? And it's very different than what it was too.
I mean, one thing that I've always kind of been like, why, is when EA, like, as much stuff as we all want and ask for and beg EA to give us, and then they do this often, maybe not even often, or I'll say sometimes, where they just ask stuff that we don't even want or we didn't even ask for. I would like to focus and stay on the things that we really want, because I mean, if the play art design was an issue, we would tell them. Like, we always tell them what we like and don't like. So I mean, I would like the focus to be more towards the things that we're clamoring for, instead of just some random thing like that kind of just throws us off. It's kind of like when they changed the slide. Remember they did that last Madden?
Yeah, they changed it like 3 times, and because they couldn't figure out a button that they wanted it to be.
Yeah, we didn't ask it for it to change. Just leave it how it is, and figure out something else. We got the controller with all these buttons. There has to be another way. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Moving over to, I like and don't like. I think there should be a better way to defend this. But if you got a big body receiver and you can strafe to catch the ball, the aggressive catches are pretty intense. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I haven't really noticed like too much with it, but I totally understand what you're saying, because like you've seen it before in past Maddens where the aggressive catches can be kind of OP, or you can get in certain positions with someone and just really it's almost like unfair with how they're going up to catch the ball and stuff like that. And I'm sure it's probably something that definitely needs to be tuned, but I can't really speak too much on it because it's not a problem that I've really noticed too much through the beta personally.
For me, I played a game with the Bucks, so I had Gronk and I had Mike Evans, and I was able to get myself, especially in the end zone, I was able to get myself in position many times to be able to make aggressive catches. And it's like that on Madden 21 as well. Next gen, like you're able to make moss people on next gen. It's a lot of unrealistic catches I've noticed on that, and it's kind of transferred over to Madden 22 next gen. Have you? This is something we didn't have in the chat, but I just wanted to talk to you about it because I've seen the breaking tackles, the offensive broken tackles, especially with the tight end. Jeez.
Yeah, I feel like I noticed that in the 21 section a bit too. Is there's, especially with tight end, if I throw a route to a tight end, I almost feel like, and if I'm running, like I catch something across the middle, I run up the sideline, I almost feel like I'm guaranteed to break the first tackle, like every time. I'm more surprised if I don't break the first tackle, than if I do. And a lot of times I'll break another tackle after that as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's like that on Madden Next Gen 21 as well. I just played a game online, and every time his tight end caught the ball, I felt like he broke every tackle. I think the tackling mechanics could be tinkered a little bit with this Madden, but I think they're trying to focus more of the weights in like inertia, distribution. Like if you're a small dude, you're not gonna be, just hit sticking or just easily tackling, a big tight end.
Yeah, that is one thing that I do like from the beta, though, is you get some new tackle animations, which is always good. And I felt like there is a lot more awareness with tackles. There's more, like you said, weight and like the momentum and speed kind of plays more into it. Like you don't really see those, or at least I haven't so far seen those weird animations where like a guy's almost coming from a standstill and someone hits him with all momentum, and then the standstill guy pushes forward through him for like 3 or 4 yards, which doesn't really make sense. I haven't seen that. So the animations and the way the tackles have happened, I have enjoyed the change that it has for the 22 beta.
Have you had any fumbles yet in your games?
I've had some that look like fumbles that aren't, but actual fumbles, no. And the other thing too, did you see that my God, the name is slipped my mind. The throw on a sack is not in the game right now.
Yeah, I did notice that.
Because there's been a couple times where my quarterback will be through his like full motion and then get hit, but the ball doesn't get released, and then it kind of just falls out of his back pocket, it looks like. And I keep thinking it's a fumble, and it's not being ruled a fumble or incomplete pass or anything.
I might have to revisit that because I played a game with Danny Dimes, and I think something of that nature happened where I did throw the ball out of sack. So I'm gonna put that in our notes just to kind of keep looking at, down the line. And I'm pretty sure people in the chat are gonna kind of let us know certain things that they've seen and stuff too. And I'll kind of get to that at the end of the podcast about that. But how's interceptions for you? Are you able to get interceptions? Are you dropping a lot of interceptions? I've gotten more of anytime anybody kind of clicks on or if it's in the vicinity, more than likely everyone's Deion Sanders and we're getting picks.
Yep, exactly. So like I know in Madden now, if you go up to catch a ball, even if it looks like you're getting an interception, you kind of get like the controller vibration and it almost looks like you're getting the animation, but you're in like a crowded area, you get hit, you can still get that ball knocked out. I have not seen that in here so far. If my hands go on the ball and you get that vibration like your guy's catching it, it's picked off. And I really haven't seen anything bounce off anyone's hands at all.
All right. I mean, that's about all I got. Do you want anything else you'd like to add to just our brief, quick first impressions?
No, not really. I mean, I just want to say, like, overall, like, it's still a beta, like we said. I'm personally thoroughly enjoying it. I know a lot of people I've seen in chat complaining about it. Some people enjoy it. I like it a lot. I like the 21 next gen. There's definitely a lot of bugs, but they've already said there's going to be a bunch of bugs in here, and they're still working on fixing things. And like you said, we probably have I would say probably at least a 2-week-old build. I know we're supposed to get an update, I think, like Thursday of this week or something, to add in like the yard and something else, and maybe we'll get some a more updated build as well, so that we can see some of the bugs fixed. But there's definitely a lot of bugs. I am fully confident that all, if not most of these, will not be in the final game. As far as the actual gameplay and everything goes, though, like I'm really enjoying it. And I've been playing it a lot over the last couple days, and I'll probably continue playing it up until it's over.
Real quick, something just jumped into my head. As I've played the game, for me, and I've played every game, simulation, all Madden, quarterbacks matter. If you don't have a good quarterback, it's kind of tough, especially throws under pressure. Have you had any issue with that as well?
Yeah, I've seen it. I haven't played a ton of games on simulation and franchise. I've played 3 or 4, but most of what I've played has been just like online head-to-heads. And on online head-to-heads, it doesn't really matter as how it did before. But definitely in simulation, I've had some quarterbacks where they're rated not so great, and I have a guy wide open and under pressure, inaccurate throw, and happens a little more than what I've noticed it happens in 21 currently, which is good. I've always am on the side of quarterback should matter more, and you shouldn't be able to do what you can do in Madden with crappy quarterbacks. So I definitely like that.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to what I was talking about as we're closing it up. I've enjoyed the beta. I've enjoyed the game. I think the game is headed in the right direction for me. I don't speak for everybody, of course. I just hope more than anything they keep the player movement the same. I hope they don't revert back to current gen. And from what I've heard, that's the direction that they want to go with player movement. So I think they can continue to fix how players move to get it to where kind of everybody's happy, and we'll just kind of see what happens, man. So I mean, I've definitely enjoyed the beta. Real quick, if there's something that we missed or something that you want us to talk about, just let us know in the comments down below of this video. I'm pretty sure me and Tom will look at it and then get back to you guys on like questions, anything like that. And I think next, I mean, what would you like to attack next? I really want to you haven't indulged in a lot of franchise stuff yet, have you?
Well, actually, that's what I spend most of my time doing is franchise stuff, just not actually playing the games. But I've messed around with a lot of the training, like the full pads, half pads, the coach trees, hiring offensive, defensive coordinators. We're like in this franchise that I'm doing with someone. We're like 3.5. I think we might actually be 4 seasons in now. We've gone through quite a few drafts and everything. So that's mostly what I've been focusing on, is just seeing how the franchise stuff plays out. So I definitely, the next one I think would be good to give a deep dive into all the new features and everything that we have for franchise.
So I think what we should do is do like a deep dive of the features, and then go back through the features and like focus on the actual features. Because I mean, it's to me it's a lot. You know, like
Yeah.
you can say, oh, there's new coaching trees, but there's a lot of depth to it. You know what I'm saying? So like, we'll get back to whatever. We'll probably have like a 30 to 45 minute podcast just talking about franchise alone, and maybe we can deep dive into some other things with franchise as well, CFM or whatever you guys want to call it. But with that being said, man, thanks for chilling with us for episode number 2 of the Smoke, and many, many, many more to come. A1 couldn't be with us mainly because he doesn't have next gen. So me and Tom are going to keep on bringing you, our thoughts on what the beta is, and we don't, like Tom said, and I didn't think about, maybe we'll get some added on Thursday with the additions that they're adding. So we'll just kind of keep y'all tuned in and see what we see and go from there. We appreciate y'all joining us, and we'll catch y'all on the next episode of The Smoke.